We can be very snobby when it comes to cars. We judge them on how they look, sometimes how they drive, but not always about how they can make our lives easier. And over the years we've fallen out of love with the MPV. We're obsessed with crossovers, SUVs, 7-seaters. But this little thing should make you forget all of that. Meet the new Kia PV5. Welcome to Nobby on Cars. I have lived with this car now for over a week, and in this video I'm going to be able to tell you, should you ditch your family car in favour of something that can fit so much more and can be run for so much less. Let me just explain the different options you can get in this car. You can get a cargo, you can get a refrigerated unit, you can get a wheelchair accessible vehicle, you get a 5-seater passenger, a 7-seater passenger. The list is kind of endless. The sky is kind of the limit, and it should do with its front wheel motor of about 163 brake horsepower, depending on battery size, 3 to 4 to maybe 500 kilometers depending on time of year. So 2 battery sizes and so many options to get you around. The fact that the charging port is here means it's so much easier to get what is a large vehicle in and out of charging spaces. Ionity chargers, which will really benefit this car. You'll see up to 150 kilowatt charging. I saw on my week a maximum of about 125. The charging curve was a little bit strange. It would speed up, slow down, speed up and slow down, but nonetheless, less than 30 minutes you'll get up to 80%. The future-proofing of vehicle to grid and vehicle to home, but you do get vehicle to load as standard, and all versions of the car get a heat pump. For cooling, lower down beneath the number plate on the PV5, there's also some active air flaps. You might be expecting this car to have electric doors. Now you can get them, but the weight of putting electric motors into these reduces the towing capacity of the vehicle due to the weight of them. Now on the other side, my kids, particularly the younger fella, he's struggling to, particularly on a sloped driveway or whatnot, to close these properly. So you think it's closed there and it's not. There's a bit more given it that's needed, and now it's beeping at me for some reason. But nonetheless, one, that's why there's no electric option in this car, and two, if you do have smaller people who'll be getting in and out, you'll probably need to help them. Something else I'd like to advise you on if you're buying one of these is the frame of this door is glass. It looks really nice, but if you catch this in a car park pillar or something like that, you're going to mark it. Stop beeping at me, will you? So the PV5 around the rear, okay, it's a straight down van design. You can get barn doors on the cargo version, but they haven't decided yet will they bring them into Ireland. They want to keep things fairly streamlined, maybe have 2 options at most, because that's worked for Kia so far. What is interesting to note is how low this part of the car goes close to the ground. So the idea is whether you're lifting things in your dog, and I mean Ginger here, as demonstrated in our model dog today, she's certainly over 40 kilos, so you want a vehicle that can be low enough for a dog to jump into. But then there's bikes and there's everything else. You have this shelter, obviously it's an electric boot, there's a handle here for further support, and you're talking over 1,300 litres in here. And if you drop the seats, I think it's close to 3,000 litres for a 5-seater family car. There's nothing else out there. And then underneath where I'm sitting, you have these huge big storage areas. There's another one back here. There's cargo nets. You can get more of these attachments depending on what you need in the car. There is a very, very large parcel cover that you can just remove from the vehicle, which might be easier for you. And there's tethering hooks, and there's little side storage areas for chucking things. It's all the space you need. And where else you get this practicality for bikes, dogs and humans. Another thing I think you'll love about the PV5 is just how much storage there is in it. There's just random little pockets for bags and bulkier items and things that you might want to hide away, like a smaller device under here. The vehicle is just full of storage space wherever you look. Another area where the PV5 is winning every single time is just the interior space. The rear leg room and the head height is so vast. It doesn't matter how tall your passengers are, they will be comfortable back here. And the passenger version gets heated seats as standard. So there's really high spec going on. You've got a 3-pin plug for charging devices on the move. That keeps the kids happy. There's different size storages on the back of the seats, and they can stretch their legs out on this footrest for extra comfort. And they love the fact that you can open the windows and stick your head out like a chip van, or if they just want to be annoying.
What do you think you're freaking doing? Get off my lawn. I'm trying to relax in here, you bloody rat.
Like that. Now, it could benefit from some more of the fun games options that you can subscribe to on Kia passenger vehicles. I need to check out more on that, because that again would keep the kids happy. From my experience, whether it's fitting their bikes into the vehicle, you can just go off and have adventures with it. You can tow 1,500 kilos. It just has ticked a lot of boxes. If you can get over the styling and maybe the fact that it drives some way halfway between a van and an MPV and a car, then if you think of it as a tool for moving people very comfortably, it's a winner every time. Now, this is a passenger version, obviously, so I'm not going to linger too much on the cargo stuff, but a payload of over 650 kilos, and you can get different size floors. One which raises the floor a little bit, which means you can get Euro pallets in the same orientation, and depending on how tall they are, you'll be able to fit them into the back of the vehicle with the roof. There is a crew cab version coming too. So this is Kia's first venture into commercial vehicles. You'll get one chance to get it right, and I think they know that. Storage is the name of the game in the front of the PV5. You can tell they've just really planned this vehicle out, and it definitely benefits from the fact that it needs to be a cargo option as well. So that means you get storage up here that you may not have gotten in a passenger version. There's an additional drawer down here which will take a decent enough size object, maybe a larger phone, a kind of a portable tablet device that you might use for delivery, so you can tuck that away. There is a wireless charging plate here and the usual USB charging speed. It's up to 100 watts, so the idea is you can use one of those ports to charge a laptop when you're on the move effectively. You can easily access things like your EV charging methods, your vehicle to grid and load when they do finally arrive in Ireland. You also get a good overview, if you need it, of where your energy is going in the car. One thing I really like is the fact that at any speed you can have the camera displayed here on the car. So when you're driving, or obviously when you're parking, but even if you're driving and you wanted to know for whatever reason what your overview looked like, you can do that. Now, also the telematics end, if you're looking at one of these for a cargo solution, is quite interesting. Kia will be working with fleets on that in terms of vehicles needing to be serviced or whatever. They're also only making this vehicle available to certain Kia dealers who have experience of dealing with commercial vehicles. That again is if you're going for the commercial or the passenger version, because it's the same size vehicle. So there's 9 outlets around the country at the moment who will be able to sell and maintain a PV5 passenger or cargo vehicle for you. Something else that I thought is just brilliant is the fact that if you have a company car and you're a van driver, you may not be too inclined to want to charge your vehicle at home because there's a cost there. Kia are working on a solution where you'll be able to plug in the van at home, and when you finish your charge, it will send the itemised bill to your employer, who will refund you at the end of the month, presumably. But it means you're removing that layer of going, oh, but how would electric work? You know, we need to go and charge, and that's out of company time. You wake up, your vehicle's fully charged, and you're not having to worry about charging it or wasting time while you could be actually being productive. So clever. Haven't heard of anyone else doing that. Thought it was pretty good. Not that I'd encourage it. I don't know how Ginger would tolerate it, but there is a pet mode in the PV5 to maintain the air conditioning. And on a similar note, there is utility mode. So if you're camping or parked up for a long time and you want to use the 3-pin plug or other power outlets in the vehicle, this is how you do it. It's in EV settings. You've got the regen on the paddles, so if you like the motor to do a lot of the braking for you, that solution is there. These huge windows, they really do leave you very exposed sitting here as a driver in traffic. Everybody can see from your knees up to your head, but kids again will love that huge visibility out the side of the vehicle. There's an armrest here. You do get one on both sides in an ID Buzz, but maybe that's a small detail. You can obviously pre-program the vehicle to be warm in the morning, to charge at a certain window overnight. One thing that has really kind of freaked me out when you're manoeuvring this vehicle, the safety parameters are so sensitive that if you're trying to park in a really tight parallel spot, as again van drivers especially want to do, nip in and out for a quick delivery, this thing will apply the brakes and not let you park. So even though you're eyeballing it with this brilliant camera going, I know I can fit in there, this vehicle won't let you in. This car is not built for speed, and once you're aware of that, you and the PV5 will get on just fine. So it's 163 brake horsepower through the front wheels. You don't want any more, because I actually, from driving the cargo version at least, don't know how it will cope with needing grip. So just settle in, relax, think of it as a cruiser. If you're full of people, they're not going to want you to be hammering around corners like Lewis Hamilton anyway. On the best case scenario, I've seen sort of 14-15 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, much better than an ID Buzz. Worst I've seen it is about 23. It's very cold, it's 5 degrees right now. I think in an ID Buzz you'd be up around the 28-30 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometer mark. It doesn't drive as well, it's not rear wheel drive. The turning circle, however, is very good, so it's easy to park it. If you're kind of looking at the outside going, oh, it's intimidating to drive, I think it'll be fine for you. Like anything, you get used to these things, and there's plenty of camera aids. It's got lane keep assist, blind spot. You have the cameras that give you a projected rear blind spot as well. Collision avoidance. I do find a lot of the Kia stuff is a little bit wants to take over. The lane keep assist will definitely try and take over. You can turn that off by holding down the lane keep button for about 3 seconds, and the driver forward monitor will also drive you mad. Bit of noise over the windscreen. It's a big bulky thing to try and move through the air, so you're getting a bit of noise over the A-pillar. It doesn't even have the opportunity maybe to be as insulated as a standard passenger car, so you'll hear a few more things, and the fact that it's electric also means you'll hear a few more things. I love the high up seating position. Yes, you are quite exposed because of these huge glass windows, but you've got a great view of the road ahead. If you are a looks fade kind of person in your life, you're going to love this thing. It's not going to be for everybody. What it is, though, is an amazing tool for ferrying all the people in your life. I have just used this as a proper workhorse this week. It's done all the collections, the drops, the training. Can you bring the dog here? Can you collect me my bike in this? And it does it all. And when you're thinking that a toolbox, let's think of it that way, of this nature is less than mid-40s with 7 seats, that's where it's the no-brainer. The way I see the PV5 is like this. There's 2 different types of people. Those who are very conscious about what other people think of how they look. And for those of you, you might look at this and go, do you know what, I don't care how practical it is, I'm not driving that thing. For the other side of the fence, you will really struggle to find, for the price, regardless of powertrain, the interior space, the boot space, the fact that you can lug humans around in this with such little effort. And then you add in the fact that you can charge it at home for less than a tenner and get back on the road again. The fact that you can now get it in the cargo option if that would suit your lifestyle. At least try it. I get that it does look like a van. I get that it kind of drives like a van. But if you truly need a 5 and definitely a 7-seater that actually has real life space in it, then these are the only options. ID Buzz as well, as I've said, a more expensive option. But you go and get 80% of 7-seaters in the market today. The rear legroom in the 3rd row is tiny. They're for kids. In these, you can fit adults. And on that bombshell, thanks for watching. See you next time.